the
I'm excited. We got a ton of new content for you guys exclusively here at PAX. We're going to show off some new stuff. Even if you guys have been here, maybe checked out some of the runs over the last couple days. We got some last minute approval to show you guys some unique stuff here. So we're really excited to get into the action. We're going to be able to show you guys a full run of Elden Ring, nightreign. Not just pre-recorded content, not just trailers. We've got real gameplay we're going to be able to run for you guys today. We're going to get through that whole run in just a minute.
Yeah, it's all live. We're going to be playing over there at the booth with the monitors. You see with that RGB, really fun, really nice. About a 30-40 minute session. Everything you're going to be watching is completely unique and catered to you. So no other group of 50 in the dome has seen what we've seen before. The last, I was here like 2 groups ago. They had a brand new boss we've never seen before in general on day 4. And of course, as Jake said, something very special that we haven't shown just yet, just for this Sunday. That being said, to play this game, it's a 3-player game, right? So we need 3 good players. Jake, who do we got today to play?
So obviously leading us off, we've got renowned Souls streamer Lil Aggie leading the run. We've got Micah from Team Bandai giving us that expertise.
Nice. And the third?
And the third is, all right, I'm gonna be real with you. I totally forgot to invite a third.
Left the third in the Uber, it's all good. We have a lot of faces in the crowd, so how about you guys? Anyone want to play some Elden Ring, nightreign on stage? That's a fast hand, but I see a lot of others as well. Okay. Let's ask a few questions real quick, crowd. Who here's played Elden Ring before? Hands up and keep them up. All right, who here's finished Elden Ring in its entirety? All right, some more hands went up. Gonna get niche with it. Who's actually played in the nightreign closed network test that happened earlier this year? Holy, absolutely raised the audience.
We got one left.
Hands high.
Soul Defender. What's your name, man? Grayson. All right, head on over here to the station. We're gonna get you set up to play, Grayson. Let's hear it for Grayson.
Round of applause. Now, as Grayson takes the stage, you might be coming to the dome wondering what's going on in general. You might have never played Elden Ring before, so to get everyone and myself on the same page, we're gonna rock a trailer real quick for you guys, and you're gonna see what's up.
Elden Ring nightreign is a co-op survival action game where you navigate a vast and dangerous field with other players. You must become one of the Night Pharaohs, fighting through the endless night and taking on scores of vicious foes over the span of 3 days. Once a country that thrived thanks to the power of gods, Limveld is now nearing its end, gradually being eroded by the night that has saturated the land. You will be deployed to Limveld to hunt the Night Lords as a level 1 character. In your current state, you won't stand a chance against that type of overwhelming power. You must gain the strength to survive by moving swiftly and skillfully. Evaluate every situation. Use your skills to fight back and survive through the night. As darkness blankets Limveld, the night's tide will begin to cover the field, narrowing your range of traversal. And as night falls, you will be driven towards an unavoidable confrontation. 8 Night Pharaohs assembled to defeat the Night Lord. By mastering the style, skills, and ultimate arts of these Night Pharaohs, you may be able to survive and defeat the night. The Night Pharaohs are the only warriors remaining who can stop them and save this land from total obliteration. Battling the Night Lord, being that boasts overwhelming attack power and toughness, will be more challenging than anything faced in Limveld. Set forth on this thrilling and fast-paced adventure, filled with danger and achievement. Dare to stand together against the fool of night.
All right, what do you think about that one? Thoughts on nightreign? Now, there's a guy from Fast and Furious who's always talking about family, right? And I think Grayson used to be a part of our family here with the crowd. He's all the way there now in his high and mighty lifestyle playing the game. I want to stay connected to Grayson. So how about this for everyone in the crowd? If Grayson here gets a win today, beats the Night Lord on day 3, everyone's walking out with exclusive PAX Live Elden Ring Nightreign Experience swag out that dome. How do we feel about that one? Cheer it on, here we go.
All right, guys, so as we jump into the action on day one, the very beginning of a night raid run. As our heroes load into Limbo, they're going to be dropping in on level 1. Low stats. They got to start simple. Start by farming up some of these basic mobs, getting these level ups online, much like the beginning of any other FromSoft game.
Absolutely. We talked about the Night Farers as well. You're going to be making decisions before you even kind of jump into the run. So when it's about the character you're playing, you have that choice. There's 8 different Night Farers. There's some unique ones, just 4 packs each specifically. So let's talk about those real quick. I believe it's Iron Eye and Raider who we have for picks today in general. But we do see Iron Eye inside this team right now. Talk to me about Iron Eye on screen right now, Jamie.
So every Night Farer in Elden Ring, all the different playable characters, they have different specialities. Iron Eye, typically a bow user. We see a lot of ranged weapon usage out of them. First skill, by the way, every character is going to have both a basic skill and an ultimate skill. At the bottom of the screen, those icons to know whether they're available. You see that ultimate still charging up. You got to do damage, take down enemies, or wait a long time to get that cooldown back. The basic skill, though, is still pretty powerful. It's a dash that goes through enemies, sets them with a mark for death as well, so you can have increased follow-up damage.
Finding the Oracle Envoys here. Not sure where the rest of the team is currently right now, but they should be following suit soon in just a second. The aim of the game at the very beginning is to maybe kind of stick together, look to take out a few camps, and then start to level up. But yes, every single character having, if we talk about the UI, that ability, that ultimate, you guys are used to seeing where Flask Sword, if you're familiar with Elden Ring, they're not going to be towards the bottom left, actually towards the top left now, where the HP bar is. So that's where you can kind of see exactly how much resilience is still left, how many resources for heals we have now. Team kind of grouping up, making quick work of the Oracle Envoys in the business. Here's a big into Grayson as well. He's the one who's actually rocking Iron Eye. Shout outs again, he's looking good. They finished their first boss, they're rocking through. Let's hear it for the team.
So from defeating that first mini-boss camp there, they're able to grab some additional loot, some weapons. Sometimes there's different passive drops, different consumables. You can also check over with, looks like Micah has picked up an Axe of Godfrey here, so some powerful weapon drops coming out of the very first camp. Off to a great start in the run. And every one of these camps, every one of these groups of enemies that they're clearing is giving them more and more runes, which are going to contribute towards those level ups. So when you find a Site of Grace, not only is it going to heal you and restore your flasks, much like in Elden Ring, but it's also the opportunity for you to level up. And that leveling up system has also been changed a lot for nightreign. Kyle, why don't you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, for me, when I'm trying to find a level up, I'm thinking about 17 Chrome tabs, 3 Twitch streamers, one of them is playing up right now, 1 YouTube video, donated with strength in here, intelligence in there. But in this game, you go to a Site of Grace, you just press X. You auto level up, it puts all the stats where it needs to go. We're really kind of focused on time here and what we need to do. Kind of going up against the Iconic Tree Sentinel as a solo right now, waiting for the team. But to quickly wrap up on leveling before these guys hit up on this, holy fireballs. It kind of depends on what character you pick, that's where your levels automatically accumulate. Now, they're not a high enough level to really take on this boss efficiently. Yeah, we can stay here like it's Elden Ring and fight it for like 20 minutes, but there's a zone that's moving in. I know a lot of people think this is like a battle royale. We do have a zone aspect of pushing people towards that final kind of night boss fight. There's no other team on the map. What the zone does is really put pressure on you and make you choose where to move at the same time. So because of that zone, because there's a time limit on this day, because they have to think about what they're doing, they give up that boss and move on to the next thing over.
Yeah, as Micah and Aggie climb up this cliff face, they're also showing off some of the new traversal mechanics in nightreign. So with the procedurally generated map, there's going to be different places that you need to climb up, and you have a lot more flexibility in terms of how you approach that. Not only are there those blue spirit springs that launch you up into the sky, get you up onto high ground, but also every character has these double jump and mantling abilities. It's going to be a Rude Bear boss defending this camp. That's the restage ability from Duchess, replaying the damage over the last second or two, enabling it to stagger on the Rude Bear, punching it full of damage.
Gotta be careful though these hits. Nice dodge again. One hit from this Rude Bear, I'm pretty sure, yeah. You're losing about a third of your HP. Restage happening again from the Duchess. We'll talk about that again in just a second. Bear almost down. You end up falling towards the ground. Luckily, no fall damage inside nightreign, which is amazing. Now, if you go back home, yeah, we need to hear about that. You get a person.
I've lost so many lives in Elden Ring to fall damage. I am down to not worry about in that about that rather in nightreign.
If you guys do like nightreign a lot, you think about it a lot, you go home. We're not responsible for any lost runes when you do die to fall damage in Elden Ring or any ruin speed runs. So remember what game you're launching. For everyone here too, we're just looking at them switch through a few weapons. There is one main rune bear now who's finally left over. The team is locking in. Now we talked about abilities inside this game for Duchess. This character's more kind of like a rogue, loves the short blaze, loves attack speed, loves like just jumping around and being a nuisance, like an assassin. She has an ability called restage. We like to call it rewind. Sometimes you see that shimmer appear right there. What it does is for the last 2 seconds, it repeats all the damage your team did to all enemies in front of you. So I'm talking about if you ult like that with Iron Eye with this huge bow, if you go for a riposte, if you go for a stagger, she can repeat that, fleet procs, repeat that, and then a boss like this ends up going down.
Masterfully piloting the Duchess, starting to get the build online, grabbing up some of these buffs, and they're all stacking up on top of each other. So from humble beginnings in a run of nightreign, you really hit a massive power level as the day goes on. You can also see as they traverse the map, that ring of night closing out of them, forcing them to progress through the map.
Yeah, I gotta be careful this. If you are inside this ring or like in the not safe side of it, you are gonna be starting to take some ticks to your HP. You can heal through it though. There is an art to min-maxing that ring. Sometimes there are some scarce resources you want to quickly pick up in that ring. You can go in, come out at the same time. There's maybe a side of grace you want to hit. You can do that real quick. This is a little bit of psychological damage watching a player fall from that height, but trust me, the HP bar is intact.
And now your decision making, your communication is pretty key in nightreign as you move around the map. You can take on much tougher foes when you fight as a group. And so, of course, we're going to expect to see our teams do a lot of that, challenging some of the bigger bosses on the map, fighting as a unit, trying to get those bigger buffs online. Most of the loot is available to everyone, so when you defeat one of those bosses or mini bosses, everyone's going to have their selection, different passives available, different depending on the night bear they choose and the build they're looking for, different drops for everyone.
And the Churches of America as well have those drops available on the side. And at the same time you interact with the altar there, you actually boost the amount of flasks you have at a maximum. So now if you look towards the top left, 5 in total for the Duchess. If the team is sticking together, they're all going to be able to just get those flasks up, up, and up. We're on an average of about 7 right now coming into the final boss on day 3. Day 1, having 5, they're kind of speeding this one up.
Yeah, it looks like Micah even has 6 flasks.
Whoa!
Wilder as well, it's worth mentioning, this character has a passive. It's just under that stamina bar, that blue icon. Wilder has a cheap death passive, so if you do take a lethal blow that would knock you down, Wilder uniquely gets a sort of free dodge from that, is able to recover and continue fighting on, potentially healing back up.
Red Jar. And we'll talk about Wilder a little bit as well. He's kind of the standard Souls-like character, you know, sword in hand, shield in hand at the start. All his abilities kind of scale, or his attributes kind of scale in general as well. I think prowling strength just a little bit. Ooh, Battle Mage, dropping him on the head. I'm not gonna take that one personally. But his ability is actually really cool. I would say the most dynamic in the cast. So he has a grappling hook. You can use this to traverse the map. You can use it to pull people like that straight towards you. Get over here. And he can also target really big things like bosses and grapple towards them. So he's a very interesting character when there's really big mechanics happening, like you're facing a dragon. You can clip its claw, go right under it. The Crystallians, you can actually end up scaling over them as well. It's really fun. But as they do this fight, gotta be wary of the zone. Wow, quick work with the Crystallian. Yeah.
Wilder as well there deployed the ultimate, that onslaught strike, the explosive hit you saw come in. Thus massive direct damage, massive poise damage, can stagger the boss, create opportunities for your team to follow up, to break them out of key abilities. And we talked about when Wilder spawned in with a sword. In this game, it looks like he's got the Gargoyle's axe. He picked that up and he can just build towards that. Maybe he'll find different weapons along the way that could redirect the build further. And so you never know exactly what to expect from a given run. Your character selected gives you an archetype, gives you a general idea of what you're going to play, but depending on the run, you can end up going in a very different direction.
Yeah, traversal also just insane in this game. And Jake, we're talking about weapons. How many weapons can one character hold in this game?
So you have 6 total weapon slots. Aggie nicely showing that off for us right now. 2 talisman slots, 4 consumable slots, and so you can really hold a lot of different tools and items. not only does each of these weapons have a different move set, different affinities, different effects that they apply on enemies, they also sometimes give passive buffs, especially as you get the rarer and more powerful weapons. They can give passive buffs that still affect you while they're not in your main hand.
Check this out with the cherry. It's usually an annoyance to take away. Now you can dismantle them. Get rid. We love to see it. And with these weapons as well, you might be thinking, Shio, I found the Rivers of Blood like off-red. I don't care about the weapons anymore. I'm just going to use this the whole time. Now, every single weapon in this game has a passive. That passive actively just kind of stays in your inventory on all the time. So as you're fighting more and more people, you can see it over here, the Earth Shield, improved attack power at full HP. You're kind of juggling these passives even if you have a favorite weapon. It's always a game for you to take fights and start micromanaging your inventory. So that's an whole entire other aspect of the game. You're always gaining something for fighting here.
And so these different passives are going to stack up through the run. Sometimes they can be run defining. You might get passives that proc on a certain effect, like getting a blood loss hit or a frostbite could change the game for you. You've seen Poison and Scarlet Rot be particularly great at dealing through these heavy boss health bars. Now the group, once again, always just constantly moving, always thinking about what's next, moving from one camp to the other, finding the next challenge, the next loot room that they can.
Look at the crowd too. I can see some very smart eyes, some brilliant faces, kind of thinking that, man, these guys are so dumb. Why the hell did they go for the castle? Why did they go through the swamp? Why did they even jump down to the ravine? I'm looking at this mini-map. Why are they even fighting the beast with a Fair Missoula right now? I'd be somewhere else. I'm going to min-max this so well when I'm there and be able to just break down this map in an amazing way. Newsflash, breaking news. The map is random every single time. The mobs that spawn are random every single time. So when you're playing a run, it's completely adaptive on what you're doing. You're basically getting that wish that everyone's wished before. I wish I could play this game for the first time again, not know what's going on. It's kind of like that in every single run.
Yeah, so far so good in this run. You can see up in the sky ahead of them is that spectral Erdtree. Marks the location that the final boss fight will take place. They still have a bit more time though to work with, so they might want to look to find some more enemies. Always want to be getting those additional level ups. Every bit of stats is going to matter, especially when it comes toward that end game. The tougher bosses, you are really going to need all the damage, all the levels you can possibly find.
Locking in over here, looking at Wilder as well. So the one thing we are able to confirm and talk to about, it's on screen right now, is skins inside the game for characters. So Wilder right now, I think usually has like a blue cape. This one is royal purple. His helmet as well has some great ornate stuff going on with it, and his entire suit of armor is much shinier and much cooler and different than his base skin. So when you're going in and out of runs, the stuff you gain, you can use it to both buy skins and buy another thing that we could also talk about called relics. So relics are things you buy in between runs that can give you a starting boost based on maybe a Night Lord you're fighting. Maybe it's like resistant to or weak to bleed. You might want to up the stuff you have for bleed on your relics. Your relics will give you plus stamina. Could give you a boost if you're dual wielding, a boost if you're maybe using a bow. So there's a whole rich refinery of micro or what's it called? Post meta game progression that you can kind of fiddle with in between your runs. And of course skins on every single night fair. Again, 8 in the base game, these are just 3.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of roguelikes, one of my favorite genres. It's exciting to see FromSoft kind of bring in some of those elements to nightreign. So there's that meta progression with the relics. There's also, of course, different builds every game, even within the same character you select. And with this many different night fairs, this many different night lords to hunt, the game does offer a ton of replayability, a lot of hours spent gaming with friends or matchmaking with anybody online.
Locking in towards the end here too. A lot of us, when we're used to fighting bosses, want to go through that golden veil, get to see what the arena looks like. I was talking about the zone. It just comes in on the map, and when it finally shrinks to its minimum size, that is the arena you fight in. You could be fighting off a cliff. You could be fighting on top of a bridge, on top of a castle. Right now, we're kind of in the fields, and a pre-mob will spawn, and after that, it gives a hint to the actual night boss. We're going to be locking in with a Mariner and those who live in death for night 1.
Yeah, so a lot of these mobs as well, spawning with the boss is going to periodically resummon more foes to fight. So you have to manage not only the main boss, but all these different threats hitting you at all times. Communication is going to be key for our squad. I know Cool Aggie's a pro, so I'm going to tap in with him right now while he's focused fighting the boss. Aggie, walk us through a little bit of this boss fight, how the run's going so far.
Yeah, so the TP Mariner here is just going to continually spawn more and more of these skeleton guys, so you do want to somewhat focus it as long as you can handle the mobs. A little unfortunate for our build right now because we've got like a lot of splash and we've got a lot of stats effects and our skeletons are not super affected by those, but I think we'll be okay.
All right, we'll let you focus up. Builds maybe not specialized for this foe, but so far so good. The run still going well. They have the skill and stamina to be able to make it through this fight. Like Aggie mentioned, you don't want to be too focused on the ads. You want to continue to put that heavy damage on the main boss with the Mariner teleporting away at times.
Gotta get this guy in the boat, man. Please. He keeps running away. And I really good at just providing support from long range as well. They're trying to see where that Mariner really is at in just a second. The rest of the team finally finding him, locking in, less than half HP for the Mariner. He starts to cast spells of his own as well. Can be troublesome, spawning things in like skeletons, even death vipers. There's the big one. So things do get a bit freaky deaky with it.
It's always interesting. See the connections able to come in. They're starting to put the focus fire on the Mariner. The ads mostly clear for the moment. Opportunity to just heavily DPS that boss. Trying to break that voice, trying to get the stagger, but the Mariner, he's a tanky boy in his boat.
Gonna walk away again. Team running for him as fast as possible.
There's the stagger. Their post as well. And the Tibia Mariner going down.
Nice! Night boss number 1 down, and now we get a big decision, Jake.
So beating these night bosses yields some of the most powerful buffs of the run. These are often some very key decisions about what to take. Sudden enemy death on attacks on random chance there could be powerful, right? For Iron Eye, shoots all those little bow shots from range, could be getting some instant kills there. Makes sense on this build. Could increase the farm speed as the team now sets out on day 2. They have one more day to continue to farm the map, but things are different on day 2. There's much more